You can view the video of this podcast on Jazz Cabbage's YouTube or Facebook pages.
Jazz Cabbage Café, we are live. Our production quality will improve at some point. It has not yet.
Promises.
Still have a great show that was nationally recognized nonetheless, so we'll take
That's right.
it.
And just for our audio listeners, let's let everybody know who's online with us here at Jazz Cabbage Cafe. We have Jamie Lowell, host, with Rick Thompson here, Deborah Young, Romeo Roach from Medical Mondays, plus Colin McDougall, the Entheo Show hero, and Mike McCurdy from Michigan Cannabis Caucus.
The Entheo Show guru.
Just whatever is fine, I guess.
You have so many monikers. I don't know,
Who's this?
This will be our people. This will be Michael right here.
Oh, all right. We're going to get going right away, eh?
It certainly seems that way.
This is Bob Dodge. I'm sorry. I got Mike here with me, so I'm going to get him here logged in.
Right on.
Thanks for getting hooked up early. I appreciate it, Bob.
Yeah, I had to go grab him. He just got back, so I'm going to scoot you over and introduce you to the man
Right
himself.
on. We're getting right
Michael.
Welcome, Michael Thompson.
What's up?
Hey, thank you for joining us, Jazz Cabbage Cafe. Really appreciate you being available for us, and we're really interested to hear what you have to say. And thanks, Rick and Mike and company for helping to facilitate this. Rick, take it away.
Well, Michael Thompson, of course, his case has been famous nationally and I believe internationally too. At one time, he was what we believe to be the longest-serving cannabis prisoner in the United States of America. Granted clemency by the governor in December and released from the Bureau of Prisons in January at a 4 a.m. release party surrounded by 20 different cameras. Snow in the cold, but that couldn't dampen any of our emotions. We're so happy to be able to have you join us today, Michael Thompson. Thank you for appearing on the Jazz Cabbage Cafe.
Yes, I'm thankful to everybody, and hopefully I can get some kind of platform that I can tell the truth about what's really going on in the prison system and what could be done to help those that can't speak for themselves.
You and I spoke on the phone last week, and we talked about looking forward, not looking back, not talking about the situations that landed you in prison, but talking about what you're going to do to help people that are still stuck in there. But there's one question I have to ask. I just learned today, because I was reading online, you had an opportunity for clemency, I think in 2018, and Governor Snyder declined to give you clemency at that point.
Right.
So that must have made Gretchen Whitmer's granting of your clemency even more sweet, because you'd already experienced, defeat one time prior.
Right, and I'm thankful to the governor because it seemed like everything got dark.
Yeah, it did. I know that you had a chance after you were released. You've had Michigan Canna chefs made you dinner, and you had an opportunity to do some talking to some people, including the Attorney General of the state of Michigan, Dana Nessel. Dana Nessel wrote a very convincing letter, a heartfelt letter to the governor requesting your clemency. What was the conversation with her like?
It was good, and I just want to thank her. For man, that letter. I read that letter. That letter speaks for itself. I mean, that was I ain't never read a letter from a prosecutor or no other prosecutor, and her being Attorney General and writing a letter like that for somebody, man, that made me feel good.
That's crazy.
Yep. Now, we, as the Michigan Cannabis Caucus, we had an opportunity to speak to the Attorney General to make her aware of the case. Mike McCurdy, who's on the line right now, who you're very familiar with, Mike was a big part of that meeting and setting it up. And we were very proud to be able to do that. We wanted to give you an opportunity, though, Michael, really to just say what's on your mind and speak your piece and be able to get your message out. And then maybe we'll help refine that message and ask a few questions afterwards. But we'd just really like to give you a platform right now to say what you need to say. It's all yours, big guy.
Thank you. Well, one, the people got to realize that there's people, especially guys in prison and guys getting out of prison. I seen all that smoke. I know what's going on. Okay, but anyway.
That's just Jazz Cabbage, baby. That's
okay. Thought
That's
somebody
how
burned it
it
up.
be.
Thought somebody burned it up over there. I didn't know what was going on. But anyway, you know, people got to realize that, you know, especially guys in prison, they tired of them slick speeches from politicians. And then every 10 years, they bring up a good time and nothing never happened. Then another 10 years, they bring it back up again. So it's just, I just want them to know that, you know, this thing that the politicians is playing with people's lives, they should be very careful because there's some young people in there getting violated. You know, I'm talking about violated and getting their manhood taken away from them. And the way they got guys mixed up now, they got mentally challenged people mixed up with just regular people, and got guys coming in off them pills, young kids coming in off them pills, and private correction put them on some more pills, and the midline is so long, man. You think it's child line, you know, and they got so many people on drugs in there, and so it just and then you're talking about the homosexual thing in there, you know, it's bad, and it's real bad to see so many young guys, you know, saying coming in prison on them pills, and then they into the homosexual thing in there, you know, and you'd be surprised it didn't used to be, you know, young guys being involved in stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Mike?
thought somebody waving at me. Waving something. But anyway, prison today is real bad, you know, and just like if a washing machine break down, just like in my case, before I got out, you know, saying I was washing my clothes in the toilet stool. You know, I used shampoo it real good, and then I wash my clothes because I could do it quicker like that. And so it just and then the food in there, the food is horrible. The food, you can sneak some out and try to give it to your dog wouldn't eat it. And it's bad. And like the food I'm eating now, man, it's like, wow, man. It just brings joy to me. Just to eat food, you know what I'm saying, like the way I've been eating it lately. And I never thought I'd eat the way I'm eating now. I never thought that would happen. Matter of fact, I didn't never think I was going to ever get out. And I thought I was going to die in there, you know, so. And lucky for people like the Last Prisoners Project and Shaun King and Dee Kirkwood and Tyler, the one who written Rolling Stones article for me, and then written his other articles that got Shaun King's attention, and then it got Kim Kardashian's attention, and she's the one that got the lawyer for it. And she one that got the lawyer out of Ohio named Kim, another Kim. And see, so, you know, prison life is, you know, like for example, and people got to wake up because they got slick words. Felony murder, you know, there's guys in there been in there using that label, felony murder, lock them up for felony murder. And they've been in there for almost 50 and 60 years. And some guys been in there 40 years. I know a guy named Horace Peterson. He been in there 53 years for felony murder. He didn't have a gun. He didn't kill no one. He didn't go in there to kill no one. But because he went in there with a trigger happy buddy, and he decided to kill somebody, that's the reason why he been in prison. Then you got a person like Cannon, Michael Cannon. He was in a fist fight. He killed a guy in a fist fight. and he'd been in there 36 years. And so the system is broken, man. The system is broken because this person, if you met him, you'll see he's the most beautiful person. You met this guy, Horace Peterson. I grew up with him as a kid, man. I know what kind of guy this guy is. This guy ain't no guy to tote no gun. He ain't nobody to kill no one. But he's been in prison for 53 years. Then that guy, Michael Cannon, he was the one that worked with me inside the prison because I had a thing called Standing in the Defense Against Violence. And I had wall-to-wall guys coming to work within that workshop. And it was a beautiful thing. They stopped it. They stopped it. It was wall, and it didn't have nothing to do with no certificates. It didn't have anything to do with any certificates. It had something to do with if a guy want to come in and he want to wash his heart off. And before you do anything, you got to wash your heart off. That's what I told them. And they was trying to get in. They was trying to get in. I couldn't even let nobody else in, but they stopped it. And this guy, Michael Cannon, he's the one that worked with me. And I told him, I said, look, man, when I go hug somebody, you hug them behind me. That's all I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was these young guys, they had never been hugged by a grandfather. They had never been hugged by a man. And I hugged them, you know, and you could feel the father in me go into the child of him. And you can feel his body, man. You can feel, and then he just laid his head in my shoulder and cried. So it's so many things, and you know that these guys, they got these programs in there, and these guys getting certificates. Them certificates is only good for the parole board. Them guys, them certificates don't help them whatsoever. All they do is get the certificate for the parole board. So where do the games stop? When does it come to a thing with when it comes to humanity to stop to help somebody, to really actually help someone? Why would you stop something I had going? Why would you stop that was going well? Why would you stop something that was benefiting the people within the system? My thing is, and I want to ask everyone, whatever you can do to help them, whatever you can do to stop the games, I'm here. I work with you to the end. And I just hope you believe in me because I believe in you. Thank you.
Michael, you mentioned something about the homosexuality in the jail system, and I want to put a little more of a fine point on it. Prior conversations we've had, you talked about how the domination of individuals takes away their soul and they come out bitter and angry. That's really what you're talking about, right? Using sex as a tool to destroy an individual,
Right,
not
right.
Consensual sex between two loving adults, right?
No, it's not no consensual sex. It's pretty ugly. It's
Yeah.
pretty ugly.
Right. Yep. And that's really what we're talking about when we're talking about that. You know, we talked before, and you mentioned it. One of the very first things you talked about when you came out of jail at 4 a.m. in Jackson was the quality of the food. And I hate to ask you to dwell in the past, but can you talk a little bit more about that? Because you come back to that theme over and over. It means it's important to you, and that means it's important to the guys still in there.
Well, yes, the food. they got food that says Salisbury steak, like for example. They said Salisbury steak meatballs, and then there ain't no meatballs. There ain't nothing about no meatballs. And the guys in prison call it cat head. And, you know, every time they finna serve it, they call it cat head. And so it just, and then so to fund the food, and then they feed you a lot of potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Man, they feed you all the potatoes you want. And the potatoes is see, let me tell you the history about the potatoes in prison. They used to give you saltpeter, you know what I'm saying, in the prisons, you know what I'm saying? But the federal government stopped that. You know, they can't give you no saltpeter no more. So what they do, they feed you a lot of starch, and starch kill your sex drive. So that's what's happening. You know, they got all kind of little tricks that
Are they still doing that neutral loaf shit that they used to do years ago? They still do that, Michael?
that neutral loaf.
Neutral loaf, where they're punishing you, so they like mash all your stuff.
Oh yeah,
into a loaf and make you eat that
oh
shit?
yeah, no doubt. When you go to the hole, hey, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
That's right.
okay, I've heard that, and you know.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
nasty.
They mash all your food. They mash all your food together and make it look like
Make
a
it
little
low. Serve it
Yeah.
to you for days on end because they just
Yes. They they got a prison in St. Louis that 3 people died over there in the hole because the summertime you don't have no ventilation, and so you got to get naked and then pour some water on the floor and lay down and try to breathe underneath the door.
God. You know, so this conversation underscores the fact that food is used as a reward or punishment system in jail, and that's absolutely not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to feed everybody that's under our care in a way that's nutritious and supportive of them. Jails sometimes limit the amount of calories they give to individual prisoners. Have you experienced that too?
Calories?
Yeah, like
they don't care about no calories, man. They don't care about no calories. They care less about any calories. They wish you didn't get no calories. They don't have no concern about another human being. They have no concern about a prisoner. And see,
one of the most.
What's so bad?
No, go ahead.
What's so bad about it is the way prisoners see this, and that's why they just overlooking it, keep on going. They feel the taxpayers don't care because they're a burden on the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And they feel that the politicians don't care because their vote don't count. And see, so they feel, don't nobody give a damn about us.
No, and one of the most despicable human beings I've ever known was a correction officer, and they just don't care. And it takes a special kind of asshole to take a job and mistreat people like that. I'm telling you, and special type of mentality.
That's right.
Even
Deborah's phone's coming in a little bit, Michael. I'm sorry.
Really
going a little in and out, but it takes a certain sick.
If I could jump in real quick, guys.
Go ahead, Roach.
While we get Deb back. First, I want to say, welcome home, Michael. I didn't think you was coming home either. I'm so happy to see you here, man, and be on the Zoom call with you. This is awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I felt that it's important that we say at the same time, while you're saying all this prison food and how, you feel like nobody cares because the prisoners are a burden. I'd also like to put out there that prison food is the same food that they serve the children in public schools.
No, it's not.
I'm not sure that's true at all.
It's not. It's not. Believe me, it's not, dude. It's not.
Oh, it is.
My husband works in public schools.
I don't know, Deb.
It's not
in
the
Detroit,
same. It ain't the same.
In Detroit, in the surrounding community,
that's where
it is.
my husband works.
I can tell you, as somebody who's been incarcerated and
all,
a parent
dude,
who sees the stuff that they give my kids.
Well, if they get that to kids, man,
they ain't giving that to kids.
I'm saying they get it to kids.
I'm glad you can laugh about it, Deb, but maybe you should look
Dave,
into it.
Guys,
get pissed off.
This is Michael's segment. Let's just we can have a conversation about that afterwards. But Michael, not to switch topics, but you collected a GoFundMe account was set up for you that collected about $270,000 towards a new home purchase, and looks like you're set up with that, but you haven't moved in yet. Can you explain where your new home is and how happy you are about that?
I move in Thursday, Friday. I finally get in there Thursday, Friday. Guys, I finally be finished with everything, and I move in Thursday, Friday, and I'll be that'll be a beautiful sight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from where I come from now, living in a home with some plush beds, and the last prisoner project helped me furnish my home up, and Bob, you know what I'm saying, done help me put a heavy bag down the basement. You know what I'm saying? If I can beat it up, you know what I'm saying? If I got anything to think of, if I ain't think about prison, I just start beating that bag. You know what I'm saying?
Rage therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's also a good cardio exercise. You know, hitting a heavy bag. You know, so it's, and I need to get back in shape and stuff like that. So it just I get some good people to really help me, man, and I'm thankful to all of them.
Well, you're eating some good quality food, so if you don't hit that heavy bag, you're going to pick up a gut, my friend.
Yeah.
Won't take long at all. You
Yeah.
know, I mentioned that I've been following your Instagram page, and it certainly seems like you had a talk with Jim Belushi, who's very famous in the industry with Belushi's Farm. How did that go for you?
It's good, went good, but you know, it's good because you know, he loved talking to me, and I love talking to him. And matter of fact, he coming to Flint because something about a movie he doing, and he want me to be in it.
Mhm.
You know, so it just you know, it
Very
went
cool.
well because he felt what I was saying. He felt everything I was saying, and it went well.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. Are you in? You're going to be in Burton? Where are you going to be at with your new place?
Yeah, Burton.
Burton, for those that don't know, just a suburb of Flint. Flint, where Michael grew up, where I grew up. It's a town to not be located in anymore. If you watch the nightly news, you know Burton's
And just
better.
as an aside, it's a town that has accepted cannabis since early on.
Sure is.
There's
Yep.
operations in there now.
Yep. So Dee Dee Kirkwood was really instrumental in keeping your stuff going. Can you talk a little bit about Dee Dee's role in following your case along the way?
Oh man, where do I start? With Dee Kirkwood. Uh, Dee Kirkwood was there when nobody was there. It was dark outside, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know, but man, wait a minute, somebody got to hear me. Somebody got to help me. And Dee Dee stayed right there. And then she got Amy Povich. Amy Povich got involved, and then Amy Povich told me about this lady named Tana, a Rolling Stones. She wrote the Rolling Stones article. Then she wrote this other article with the other magazine, Intercept, and that got the attention of Shaun King, Last Prisoner Project. This got the attention of everybody that I couldn't get the attention of, and it was and that's when Kim Kardashian got me to retain the lawyer out of Ohio, and that's where it all started, man. That's when the ball got to jumping. That's when they came in like troopers, man, and they knew what they was doing, and all I did was just sit back and watch because I knew that they had two gunslingers on the Last Prisoner Project team. One was named Sarah, and one was named Mary. You know, and they was gunslingers. And then if you got them two coming at you, you better be ready. You better be ready because they don't know nothing about the word no.
Mhm.
And so I give all respect to everybody that played the part. And Dee Dee Kirkwood was like the conductor.
That's great. Sarah Gersten is a fantastic attorney. She's also the executive director of Last Prisoner Project. So she's good enough to be able to successfully wear several hats. That's great.
Yeah, she's very good. She a lot of people for a long time thought she was my lawyer. But she was well, she was just like my lawyer. And you know, I used to call her all the time for advice. Just like Mary Bailey. I used to call her all the time for advice. Matter of fact, she just left my home 2 days ago.
Yep. Mary Bailey from Last Prisoner Project. She
You're
going
right.
back to Hawaii, then I take it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. These are some big name folks. You know, there are some parallels with your case and the John Sinclair case that happened so many decades ago. And one of the things that Sinclair says that really made the difference for him was having an all-star team of attorneys that represented him in court. I think that really made a difference for you too. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, yes. Well, I had some good representation, period. And when one came, when one went, when one went, all of them went.
You know, Michael, we've just been joined by Ryan Basor from Redemption Cannabis. Ryan, you want to say hi to Michael Thompson?
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, not much. Just joining on about 420. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Listen, the conversation's been wonderful, Michael. Let's talk a little bit about how we're going to help people that are still incarcerated. One of the ways is through the Freedom Fund, and that'll be set up, you know, Mike McCurdy is going to be instrumental in that, and it'll be set up to help people who are currently incarcerated or people that just recently get out to be able to negotiate things. How helpful has it been to you to have a security net when you come out? Your daughter, especially, you know, big part of all of that.
Well, you know, that's a must. That's a must for a guy to make it. You know, that's a must. You can't get around that because everybody need a kickstart. Everybody, you know, especially when you've been incarcerated for years. You know, you're gonna need a kickstart. Ain't no sense of BSing yourself. You're gonna need a kickstart, and that'll be a great thing, Sam, for you all to do that for someone.
Yeah. Well, I know Ryan, with personal experience, knows exactly what it's like to come out and you know, wonder what's going to happen next. Having somebody at least to describe what's going to go on and maybe give some assurances, that's invaluable. And we have a lot of corporate partners here in Michigan that are going to be able to help out with that too. You're actually at a facility right now. Let's give some credit to Bob Dodge's facility. Where are you at right now, Michael?
You baked.
You baked.
You baked. You know, I'll tell you.
Right.
Tell you
Isn't
something else.
Baked involved with the pot for
Greenhouse.
shots
Greenhouse.
campaign? Yeah, Greenhouse.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the background here.
He's
Yes,
sitting in
we're
the
working
background.
with Greenhouse, Jerry Millen,
Right on.
and
Thank you.
providing the pre-rolls for all the pot for shots.
And Jerry
4,000
Millen,
plus?
one of my. Go ahead, Jamie, please.
4,000 plus.
And growing.
Right. Wow.
Hey, it was on last week.
Yep, Jerry was here last week.
He did a great job talking about the Pot for Shots program. It's international now too, Bob. He's talking about doing BBC interviews with Russian television, Germans.
Yeah, I talked to him last night, and there's a lot going on. He sent me actually a video in another language where they talk about it.
Nice.
Pretty wild.
So,
Thank you for doing that, and thank you for facilitating this and otherwise being in such great support.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing. We're getting a lot of news coverage here. You know, today we had WNEM come through here, interview Michael. And we're just setting a platform for Michael and helping him with a pedestal to get his prison reform message out. And we have a lot of dispensaries that are basically lining up to do vendor days. And we have a gentleman that will line up all the local news coverage for it before, during, and after. And they'll come in. And ultimately, the goal is to get this national too. We've got word out to NBC currently and Fox News national. So, you know, this is just the start of it. We got Fox 2 Detroit coming in Thursday. Grand Rapids will be coming in. Traverse City's coming in. So we're really trying to get a big wave here. Give Michael this platform to get his message out there.
Great, thank you.
So, Michael, considering the platform that we've got today, what would be your number one, number two, number three things you'd like to see change within the prison system that would make an immediate impact upon the folks still stuck within?
Well, they got some screwed up policies. One is they screwed up and they only benefit Michigan Department of Correction. It ain't got nothing to do to benefit the prisoner. The other is they can give them some better food. You know, and that's on a serious tip. You know, a lot of them guys go without eating, man. You know, and you know, it just I can understand going on a diet, but they ain't the way to go on no diet. You know what I'm saying? Guys, you know, just afraid to eat. You know, and Department of Correction don't even care, man. They don't even care. You know, they don't care about your health care. They don't care nothing about your health. They don't even care. You know, and that's, you know, where are we going? What happened to America? What happened to, just because the guy's in prison, that don't mean he's a rotten, no good forever. People can change, man. Give them a chance. You know, that's the reason why I say I hear the voices in my head, man. You know, I hear the voices in my head, and it's just so many things you can change. But one thing you can change is change their hearts. Because them correction officers is nasty. They talk to you less than a man. And because they know they can talk to you that way, they don't care. And see, so all I'm saying is, man, somebody, you know, just like I said before, I hear the voices in my head, man. They in my head. And no way they're gonna ever go, man. I'm gonna constantly keep fighting. If I get one guy out, that's one that was still in there and it could have been still in there. But I'm just saying, I still hear the voices. And, you know, when I'm leaving that morning, guys waking up, want to see me off, you know what I'm saying? And I hear them say, well, they call me Miko in there. That's what they been calling me for years. And they said, Miko, man, don't sell us out, man. Don't sell us out, man. Tell the truth. Go tell them. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. Tell the truth. And so I just wish that Department of Correction would tell the truth. Just like I'm gonna tell the truth about them.
We'll do everything we can to help you carry your message forward. And right now, it certainly seems like you are the leading advocate for prison reform in the state of Michigan. It's a heavy burden. It's a big mantle.
Well, it never can be too big when it comes down to the cry of another human being.
Beautiful.
I'm willing to take on whatever, even if it costs me my death. I'm willing to take on whatever to help them, because I know what they're going through, and I know that every 10 years they hear something, they're gonna change this, they're gonna do. No, nothing ever changed. And then when another congressman get in there, he passes it to the next congressman. Then he tells you the same thing the other congressman said. It's sad, man.
I guess, Michael, I have a question. I guess what type of like policies would you like to see changed out here to make people not end up in the Department of Corrections hands?
Well, you know, me, I'm not too.
Or like, how would you like?
See, policy is not my, and policy is something I've been studying and I know a lot about, you know what I'm saying? But all I can tell you, they got policies, you know what I'm saying, that cause a lot of problems. And if I had to sit down and look at them, I would be able to tell you.
You know, Michael, we're fortunate to be able to help offer you an even greater format to be able to spread your message. The Hash Bash is, of course, not going to be in person this year. It'll be a digital Hash Bash. And we're counting on you, or hoping that you would give us a pre-recorded 3 or 4 minute message that you could share with everyone that'll be watching the Hash Bash performance and also watching it in replays on podcasts later on. Would you be able to do that for us? Put together a 3 or 4 minute video talking about what you're doing and what we can do and how we can help?
Anything for you, Rick Thompson. Anything, man. Anything,
that's a soundbite. I'm going to hang on to that one for a long time. Mike McCurdy, you've been here for a long time on mute, man. You've got to have something that you'd like to ask Michael about. I'd like to give you an opportunity now.
Well, I just want to say something. I want to brag on Michael a little bit. He's joined our coalition, the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition. a coalition that includes the Last Prisoner Project, the NACDL, Redemption Foundation, and a lot of others who are really worked hard to get Michael out and are continuing to help get other people out. We just, as of Monday, we sent a letter to Gretchen Whitmer signed by over 100 foundations and individuals who are part of our coalition to push a clemency project forward. Representative Rabi is going to be sending a letter supporting us to Gretchen Whitmer. So we're really expecting to have a meeting with her soon. We're hoping Michael's going to be at that meeting with us so he can talk directly to the governor. And we really believe we're going to get more people out. We're going to have a clemency project here in Michigan one way or another. So that's really exciting. And Michael's, thank you so much for joining our coalition and helping us make that happen.
All right, Mike. Good seeing you, man.
You too.
One of the things that gives you a big advantage, Michael, in my opinion, is the fact that you've got a nephew who's a little bit famous, and his wife is even more famous too, I think. Go ahead and tell us who your nephew is.
Well, my nephew is Shelton Neely, the mayor of Flint, and his wife, Sydney. She's a congressman. So.
Yep. She's in the Michigan House of Representatives. She took Shelton's space when he went over to become mayor of the city of Flint. So you have an opportunity, really a pipeline, to be able to introduce legislation that you would sponsor directly into the Michigan legislature to get your opinion expressed in a way that Representative Neely will be able to help you with. That's fantastic. What a great advantage you've got.
Yeah. Matter of fact, he was over my house. We had a dinner. Mike was over there. I think Mike was over there the day that Shelton came for the dinner, and I had and his wife, and I had a conversation with him about that. About different things and different things I was concerned with, but it's one thing that I wanted him to do, and just like I want you guys to do. I want you to hear. I can bring about 6-7 mothers. I just want you to hear their testimony about their child that's in prison. And I just want you just to hear them. These are the kind of testimonies I'm hearing now, and people coming to me, and I'm sitting listening to them. I said, man, listen, you need to have other people listen to you too, not just me. I want other people to see you, just like all of y'all. I just want you to hear them. I want them to put them before. I want to put all of them before you. I already told them. I said, look, be on standby, because the day gonna come that I want them to hear you. And these is mothers fighting for their kids to get out of prison. So I just want one day you schedule that, Rick, and just schedule that, and I'll have them available.
I promise. We'll do that.
All right. Thank you.
And Bob Dodge over there might be able to help us with the location to set up a camera and have some people do some testimony. And Jamie Lowell has this wonderful Zoom broadcast platform that we can use. And Mike McCurdy, of course, with the Freedom Foundation, that's exactly the kind of testimony that would be helpful to raise awareness and attention for that. I think everybody on this call, except for Basor, he's not involved. But everybody else on this call.
Rick, with the momentum, we're going to get started here. As soon as you're ready, I've got we can do it right here in our office. I've got a 80-inch screen behind us, and we can really put on a show with that. And I can actually get the news in on it to do some coverage as well.
Our personal experience in the cannabis industry tells us that one of the most moving testimonials ever given to the legislature comes from mothers of sick children. When a mother describes the pain and experience that they've had, people pay attention. And the mother of an incarcerated individual, the wife of an incarcerated individual, the daughter of an incarcerated individual, that's powerful. And I believe that's one of those things that could maybe move someone like Gretchen Whitmer and Dana Nessel, both of whom have demonstrated they have huge hearts.
That's the reason why they thought I was lying to them, you know what I'm saying? They said, come on, they call me Miko again. But anyway, they said, come on, Miko, you ain't pulling our leg like all the rest of them have. I said, no. I said, no, what I'm gonna do is I got something tonight with Rick Thompson. And I'm gonna ask him, would he listen to y'all? Is y'all are y'all willing to come and give me that testimony? And they say yes. So whenever you're ready, I have them lined up in there.
Rick, you've got my number, so anytime you want to do something like this, just give me a call or text or whatever. We'll touch base and get it lined up.
Ryan, talk for a minute.
I want to pass. That's all right, Rick. I was going to pass some of this stuff I'm hearing on to you, and you see how passionate I get. And you see why I'm so emotional, Rick. And I see how emotional you are right now, man. And you real, man. It all comes from the heart, man. And that's the reason why I love talking to you, Ken. Because you're real, man, just like me. I don't want to talk to nobody that's not like me. I want to talk to somebody real that's going to make a difference. But when them mothers come in, when I had these mothers come in line, about 7 or 8 of them, when they going to line up, they're going to tell you testimony. They ain't going to be afraid to talk. And they're going to tell you about their child. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. These people got people that love them out here. Why would you keep them caged up like that and make them and just let them turn to an animal? Something less than human. So when that day come, Rick, just let me know. And you got my word. I have every one of them here.
Well. Yep. But
Michael,
again, go ahead.
I had a quick question, Michael. Let's see, I'm Ryan. We haven't met yet, but obviously heard a lot about you and done a lot of the work with these guys, and excited to be on with you. But I was only in the federal prison for 2.5 years for marijuana, so not anything close. But I got out and I just remember like what food tasted like, and driving, and like being in a car, and like just the shock. And then I've become friends with a lot of guys that I was in with that have come out and were helping, and the guys that did 10, 15, 20 years. But what has it been like for you adjusting and and the new sensations and things what has that been like?
Yeah, man. It's been a challenge, man. It's been a challenge, man, because I ain't used to all this, man, new stuff, these new cars and shit. I didn't even know how to shift a car, starter car, man, and all that kind of stuff, and telephones. Everybody think I put the notice right away and all that kind of stuff, rushing me and all that. Hey, man, look, I almost threw the phone against the wall, man. I said, man, fuck this. Forget this phone, man.
You can say fuck this. It's okay.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just that I got to take my time. That's what I found out. I just got to take my time, man. And I ain't gonna let nobody rush me. I'm taking my time and learn this stuff, learn these laptops and all that. I didn't have no laptops in there. All we had was a little toy, some little toy thing they let you have, called MP3. That ain't about nothing. So it just to answer your question, man, the world changed drastically. The world changed drastically since I've been gone, and I'm standing still, and the world is moving. 25 years later, I'm still standing still. So, what would you be at if you was standing in the same spot for 25 years and everybody else is moving, everything else is building, and all the cars is changing?
I'd be overwhelmed.
It is.
Yeah. But that's where you have people like Bob, people like Ryan and Mike and the rest of us to lean on a little bit to help you, better adjust.
Yeah, that's a must, man. If it went for Bob died, matter of fact, I'm going to show you. Bob just got me an MRI, man. I've been trying to get an MRI for 15 years in the system. just to see, man, why my leg the way it is, what is, something. I just want to look at it after the MRI tell me, and then I listen to it. I ain't listening to nothing what no prison doctor said. And so I don't trust it. So Bob got me MRI today, scheduled, for me to get one. And so it's just things like that where guys out here can get MRI like it ain't nothing, but I've been asking for 15 years. And now Bob got it just like picked the telephone up and just got it. So it just, man, I'm just blessed to have the people around me that's around me right now, and just like and the guys I'm working with, like you, Rick Thompson, and the whole, the Last Prison Project and stuff, and just I'm just thankful to have them. But I'm just wondering, what about those who don't have no Rick Thompson and Last Prison Project and Shaun King and all the people that helped me? It took me a long time to get a Rick Thompson even look at me. It took me a long time to get a Shaun King even care, And so it I know how it feels to have nobody fighting for you.
Well, maybe that's why prison reform is so important, because instead of having the ability to help a single individual, you have the ability to help everybody.
There you go. There you go.
Improving the quality of food, improving the quality of medical care, improving the ability to actually achieve the parole system. I'm sorry to say it was a bitch to get you out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of paperwork, a lot of hassle. And now that you're out, 4 years, you're still, still owe some allegiance to the prison system for 4 years after clemency?
4 years.
Jesus.
4 years, man, after I did 25, so that means I'm gonna do 29 years under their jurisdiction.
We have to fix that. We can work together to fix that. Mike is committed to that. Ryan is committed to that. Jamie Lowell, I know, is all in on it. Colin, too. We're all here.
All right. I'm thankful to you. But it seemed like, the Attorney General is working with Mike. It seemed like he Attorney General's listening. And if she can do something, she will. The governor seemed like, she'll do something, but I'm wondering what happened to fix the damn roads. You know what I'm saying? Man, them roads is raggy out there, and they horrible. They horrible.
So some things haven't changed in 25 years, have they? No.
so it must have got kind of hard for her, So that's what I'm saying. Her intentions probably was good, to fix the roads, but something happened with the money. You know what I'm saying? And that COVID-19, that is the baddest thing that ever hit Earth. So I can understand how that COVID can change things up, get money turned this way, take money turned that way. Now she ain't got no money to fix the roads, so.
Hey, Ryan has to leave us here for a second. Ryan, is there anything you want to say before you have to go?
Just thanks for let me have the opportunity to be on today with Michael. Michael's great to listen to you, and man, there's nothing more powerful than somebody who's been there and lived it, and this, like I hear you talking, is still living it, and all those guys that are back there. So, man, we're really blessed to have you out and to have you fighting. So thanks for getting out and fighting. I know that that's a choice not everyone makes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you fighting with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want you to be there with me, man. Just don't leave me.
Oh, you got it.
Be there with me. Okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Ryan. Michael, you just mentioned COVID-19, and you were diagnosed with COVID while you were still behind the wall, right?
Yeah, I was, and I was laid down for 2.5 months, and I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. So that COVID attacked the weakest part of my body. That was my leg. That's when I'm going to get that MRI and see what's going on with my knees sore and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I was going to get an MRI after I get the real results, and then I'll be all right with it. But there's one thing about that COVID: when it attacks you, it may not kill you, but it's gonna leave you something that you got to rehabilitate yourself. And there's one thing about the COVID, just like I said before, That's the baddest thing that ever hit Earth. Shit, I don't care what nobody said. They said some others, hey, that's the baddest thing that ever hit Earth. And if a guy think that's a joke, he's a joke. Because that is no joke, and people need to take it serious, and they need to get them shots, man.
So, in prison, you were moved from the regular prison population to the medical center while you were suffering from COVID. Is that true?
Yeah, DLW. I mean, Dwayne Waters Hospital.
You were there when you had one of the last parole hearings where a lot of people gave testimony on your behalf.
Right. That's right.
Mike and Ryan and myself gave testimony at that time. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, see, I didn't recognize nobody at that time, but then when I look at it, now I remember you all's testimony, you know, and y'all did some beautiful testimony. Matter of fact, it was so beautiful between you and the Attorney General and all of that I couldn't even speak, you know, so after that, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, they asked me to say something, the last said something, do I have anything to say, you know what I'm saying? What do I got to say after all? You sat there and let me hear all that. Yeah, let me hear all that beautiful stuff that he's saying about me. And you want me to say what? You know, I mean, how could I speak after that, man? After hearing the letter from the Attorney General, then hearing you all saying what you're going to do and what you're going to do to help me, man. You know, I mean, what possibly could I have said? Matter of fact, I was too emotional. And I got emotional, it touched me, and I couldn't say anything. That was my last statement. The emotions that I felt of what the pro board read, and you all stood up for me about what you want to do for me.
You know, and during that discussion, a lot of the really positive things that you've done for your community in the past were discussed. And there were some really, really intensely powerful help that you gave to a lot of people before this all went down. It makes sense that after coming out that you do decide to take the position of helping people to continue that same type of approach that you had.
Yeah, I didn't have no choice. I had no choice because that's just the way my heart is. You know, I don't have no choice. I'm an honorable man. And honor means everything to me. You know, you can have the baddest woman in the world, butt naked. I'll jump over her to get to that honorable man. Because I know I can always get back to that naked woman. But I can't always get to that honorable man. So I just want you to know I'm an honorable man. And the only thing you gotta do is just watch me from this point on and listen to me from this point on. And you'll be able to feel the spirit of honor that I live with and I was born with.
That honor was on display before you were incarcerated. Here in the city of Flint, you played a big role in busting up gangs and were given some accolades about that before your police interaction. Can you talk a little bit about what you did in Flint and how you made that happen through the force of your own character?
Yes. What happened was I was reading the paper one day and I seen that Prosecutor Weiss was trying to get $400,000 for prosecution and conviction of young people. And I knew that these young people was going to be people of color. And that's the reason why I got involved, because I knew that the new guys was headed towards some bad things. So what I did, I took $90,000 of my money, and it took me 10 months going through little cubby holes, crawling in some little, going in late night and behind the schoolyard, and you know, and I was by myself with a chauffeur. I had a limousine, and he was chauffeuring me. even though he was licensed to carry a weapon. But what I'm saying, one gun, all them guns, you know what I'm saying, surrounding you, so it's just that they welcome me. They just wanted to speak to me. And they had a lot of respect for me to even show up like that. So what happened was they used to meet with me, and it took me about 10 months, and I had a dinner, and I wanted them to come to truth, and they lined it up, one side, other side, lined up and shook hands, and then we scheduled a march, and they had the police block all the streets out from my building all the way down to it about 2.5 miles walk to the riverfront. And when we got to the riverfront, the mayor was there, Mayor Sharp. And I shook his hand and I said, I bring you my kids. Get them all jobs, man. And he got them all jobs. And and then that's when the gang problem was no more gang problem. So the $400,000 that Weiss was trying to get for prosecution and conviction of young people, I killed his grant. And so then his ass got on news and said, I'm gonna show everybody that Michael Thompson is not the Samaritan everybody think he is. And he came at me with vengeance. He sent all his dogs at me. But I gave my life for their life.
And you really believe that the investigation that led to your cannabis-based arrest was really retribution from a prosecutor that you kind of shamed because you did something he couldn't do.
Ain't no doubt about it. It was all in cahoots, the judge, the prosecutor, and the police. They was all bad people. It was all bad people. Their hearts was in nowhere got to do with humanity or being bringing good law to a person, or doing it fairly. It had nothing to do with that. It had something to do with a political hit. That's all it was.
What year was that?
1996.
I remember the 90s as a period of a lot of unrest, where there was a crack in the 90s was devastating my city, Flint, devastating Detroit, Pontiac. It was going around. It was killing communities. So an act of kindness like that must have been extraordinarily difficult to achieve.
Right. I was just not skipping the subject, but as I was thinking, that's how I got in touch with the mothers, because this little girl got killed. And the mothers called me and they said, Miko, please tell somebody, help us. And see, so they also concerned about the violence in these streets, man. It's horrible in Flint, Detroit, Saginaw. It's horrible, man. And it's so horrible that sometimes it's 10 o'clock at night, and then they say, man, I'm going in, I ain't want to be out here. I ain't gonna be out here. And so I'm looking at it, I'm saying, dang, it ain't never 10 o'clock. But then I understood, man. I understood when they got to talking, tell me about how these young people are. But I got a message from the ladies, the mothers, and they was telling me that them young boys want to meet with me. They asked to meet with me, and so I'm gonna meet with them, and it'll be soon. And I just want to hear what they got to say, man. I just want to hear what they got to say, because if I don't listen to them, who will?
Same way you're. I'm sorry, Jamie.
I'm sure. I'm just sure that will be very much appreciated by the entire family for you to go have that conversation with them.
And with your connection to the mayor, you're uniquely positioned to be able to maybe facilitate change. You can reprise your role as peacemaker once again.
Well, I don't like that word peacemaker, but what I do is the Father in me would bring the spirit of the Son in them. I'm doing that because I'm a father and grandfather. That's what I'm doing. I'm not no peacemaker.
I understand. I'm a father and a grandfather too.
How did it feel? Did you know your grandchildren before you got out of prison?
Oh yeah, yeah, I knew him. Yes, I mean that's what gives you all hope by knowing your grandkids. Your grandkids says some of the damnedest thing. You know, I mean, I ain't never seen so many grown little people. And these kids are smart, man. And matter of fact, they showing me how to use my telephone. Shit, you know, I mean, shoot, man, it's you know, at age 8, I feel kind of weird, man, letting a little kid showing me how to use my telephone, man. And I'm looking at him like this. And I said, what you say? And they showing me. He said, no, do this, do that. No, this is what you do. You do that. I said, then after everybody looking, I'm looking around, hoping ain't nobody see me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out how to use this phone. And so anyway, that's kind of stuff I'm doing, man. And I ain't ashamed of it, man. Yeah, some young kids learn me more than anybody.
Yeah, we all depend upon the young ones when it comes to new technology. They pick it up so quickly, you know. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. You've talked about mothers several times. Is there an organization that you'd like to give a shout out to, or anyone that's doing good work in this field that you'd like to maybe draw some attention toward?
Well, I don't know them like that. You know, I don't know them in no organizations and nothing like that. All I know is the ones that called me.
Right.
And they didn't get in touch with me. How they got my number, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But they got in touch with me, and they passionate. And I just want you to hear what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you ask me, am I going to stop fighting for am I going to stop fighting for those, you know what I'm saying, that haven't stopped fighting for themselves within the prison system, prison reform. I know how it felt, man. 25 years. I know how it felt to don't have nobody fight for you or don't have any hope. I know how it felt. So all I'm doing, and these mothers and other people that already contacted their kids, and so Miko gonna fight for you, you know. And when you hear these ladies and things they told me, and you hear what they said, and you listen to how much hope they got from me, how much they believe in me, and then I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what should I do? Or what would I do if a mother come crying to me and with so much passion about their child, when I know that what they're saying is the truth? You know? What would you do as an honorable man? What would you do? I'm not doing anything different than you would do. But the only thing is, since I got the platform, I want to use it for something beautiful. And what's beautiful to me is to help these mothers and help their child. Now, that's the reason why I call it the red light, green light. If they meet the green light standards, I'm willing to fight. But they ain't in the green light standards, I can't fight for them. I go and fight for those, you know what I'm saying, that's showing a big change. or would be a big change. I can't fight for everybody in prison because thank God they got prisons. But everybody is not meant to be in prison. Everybody shouldn't be in prison. But there's a lot of people that should. I'm not no fool, and I speak real. And what's real is a lot of guys that should be in prison, and there's a lot of guys that shouldn't. And just like I told you once before, Rick, the only difference between them and the politicians, they got caught, and the politicians ain't got caught yet.
So Michael, if I could real quick, go back to something. I've been following your case for a long time, and tonight's the first night I've heard that really the initial investigation that led to your incarceration sounds like you're saying it was actually political retribution. Could you say the name of the prosecutor again who prosecuted you as a form of political retribution?
Weiss. W-E-S-S.
Yes.
W-E-I-S-S. Yep. He's
I-S-S. Yeah, you're right.
And do you know if he's still involved in working for the state?
I don't know what he's doing now, but I know that and the judge was horrible too, and then they had a group police called FANG.
Flint Area Narcotics Group, FANG, very famous.
Yeah, man. Listen. They so dirty that because I wouldn't because they couldn't make me out of stool pigeon. They sent me a little card with a Pac-Man face on it. It looked like a Pac-Man face, a little round thing with it's yellow, and had a smile on it. And they said he sold my Porsche. And then he said he sold my necklace. It was $17,000 necklace, and they said he sold it. And they said he sold my Porsche for $900. And then they said he sold my necklace for $400. And the same people that did the auction and stuff, they was the same people that arrested me. And the same people that arrested me bought my necklace and my Porsche.
Yeah.
So you tell me what kind of, that's the kind of circle that fame is all about. And they all in cahoots. Judge Fullerton, she's the worst of the worst. And so I'm just letting you see that I was in a trap, man, all over the place. I didn't have no rights. I didn't have no justice. It was just me.
Mike, those guys were old back then. I doubt after 25 years that they're still in public service, just as a comment.
A lot of people listening right now are offering up a lot of support. And Adam Brook, who's a long member of this cannabis community, who also has been imprisoned, points out that he really appreciates how honest you're being about how people get treated inside.
Yes, and I appreciate you guys listening. And whenever I speak, I'm only speak the truth. Whenever I speak, I'm only going to tell you the truth about what's going on. You can listen to all them politicians. You can listen to them prison guards come out crying about this and that. But I'm telling you that a lot of prison guards shouldn't be prison guards because they setting guys up, man. Setting guys up and writing things in their file cause them to not go home. But what can they do? They can't fight it because they don't go against the word of an officer. It don't matter what an officer write in your file, it sticks. So where you at? Who do you call? Who is your referee to what this police is saying? So you helpless.
You were in several different places. Jackson State Prison. You mentioned the medical wing that you were in too. Were you incarcerated in other facilities during your 25 years?
Oh yeah, I've been incarcerated at URF. That's up north by Ken Ross. They call it Earth. I was at Muskegon. That's where I caught that virus at, you know what I'm saying, Muskegon. And after I got it, 400 other guys got it, you know, came right behind me. I was at Jackson. I was behind the walls of Jackson for 4 years. I was at Saginaw. Uh, uh, yeah, I've been at I've been in about 9, 10 different prisons, you know.
What's the reason they move you from prison to prison? Is it
I,
because of security?
I don't know. They move you when you get ready. That's one thing is a mystery. You know, some guys can stay at a prison for the rest of their bit. And then some guys, they move.
Seems like that's a method of control, you know.
I don't know, because I only received 1 ticket in 25 years. That's hard to do. 1 ticket, man. And that ticket was being in the music room without a pass. And because I heard the music, and naturally my background of music with Aretha Franklin and all of them and things I was doing as a promoter, I heard that music, and that music just pulled me to it. I didn't give a damn about no ticket. You know what I'm saying? I just heard that music, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to find that music. And so what I did was just so happened, and the police don't normally come back there, but just so happened he come back there then. And he asked me for my ID, and he written me a ticket, and that's the only ticket I received for being out of place.
So talk a little bit about your time as a promoter, because that's actually a pretty interesting story too. And that all, of course, took place prior to your incarceration.
Yeah, that's you know, I did Aretha Franklin 5 days in Vegas. I did Patti LaBelle 5 days in Vegas. I did Gerald Levert, Bobby Womack, Temptations, the Isley Brothers. I didn't work with some of the top artists in the country, and so it's just that's what I love, man. When I go into arena, and when I was a little boy, I used to go into the arena, and I used to have a fascination for arena. One of, you know, what it looked like with all them asses in the seats. And when I got old enough to do it, I started working for somebody else. And then I started working for another guy, trying to learn the business. And 3 years later, they was all working for me. Yeah.
Speaking of work, you also did some work in factories in Flint too, in the automobile industry, right?
Right. I worked for AC Spark Plug, which is Delphi now.
Yeah.
I had 14 years seniority in there.
Right. So you came out into a Flint that looks very different. 36 is gone, Buick City's gone. Many of the different automobile plants in the city are gone. But again, the spirit of Flint lives on. Do you still see that desire for betterness, that spark of life in the people that you run into in the city of Flint?
Well, I think Flint is a beautiful city. I think it got a lot of potential, man. And I'm telling you, man, when I come back, I thought Flint was Detroit. Shit, all these buildings, all this other shit, I don't know where I'm going. And, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Shit, hey, man, Flint done changed. I said, go ahead, Flint. Man, I'm trying to find my way, this way, that way. Buildings have been built this way. And everybody got big businesses here, big business there. General Motors left, true enough, but man, they got some other stuff came in, and they ain't playing. And Flint got a lot of potential, man. And just like I told the mayor, look, man, Flint got a lot of potential. What you gonna do? Flint got a lot of potential, man. I mean, these people want to live. These people want to do something. Only thing you got to do is just help them make it happen. So if you ask me about Flint, Flint is beautiful as far as I'm concerned. And they got a couple of corrections that could be made, like all this violence and stuff. That could be corrected. That could be corrected easily if they want to. If they want to correct it.
Well, we've got some fantastic people in the city, and you're certainly one of them. Thank you very much for giving us your time today. Is there a message that you wanted to share with us? I don't want to. I mean, I'll talk to you for another 45 minutes if you can give it, but I don't want to be jealous and take up all your time.
No, it's just, man, I love talking to you, Rick. And just like I told you, anytime you want to talk, anytime, Bob, he said everything's available. You know what I'm saying? The platform's here, and anytime you want to talk about some of the things we talked about tonight, or some you want to follow up on, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, don't hesitate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You see, because I'm not talking to everybody. I'm just talking to the ones that make it matters.
Our good friend Darren McCarty, Red Wing former, Stanley Cup champion, says it's not the what, it's the who. When he starts doing things. Doesn't matter what you're doing, it matters who you're doing it with.
That's right.
We were joined by Jim Salam, and I wanted to give Jim an opportunity to say hi and say thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. It's really a pleasure to meet you and to listen to you. I'm sorry I showed up late today, but I've been following your story and was happy to be a supporter for everything that goes forward from here on out too. The changes that we can make for the better. And I also appreciate your dedication to that, to people, to children, to helping. That just speaks volumes about the integrity that you have as a person. And I'm sorry for what happened to you, and our system needs to change. And I'm happy to help in whatever way I can.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because the system is broken. The criminal justice system is broken, and it needs to be fixed, man. And this don't take no rocket science. This is some brain dead shit. I mean, some brain dead stuff. And they know what they need to do. And just like I said about Flint, you spoke about Flint earlier, and I be looking right around Flint. I'm like a little kid, man. I'm like a little kid because I'm saying, damn, Flint done stepped up. Flint ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? Flint remind me, she got me like I'm lost, like I'm in Detroit somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And this is Flint, but it don't look like Flint to me. It look like something else. So I love Flint. I could have went paroled out to California. Yeah, they wanted me to, because that's where the marijuana people are, you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff, But I didn't want to leave Flint, because my job is back here. My job is here. And I would love to work with you, man.
We will do that. That is for sure.
How can people at large get a hold of you?
Just like people like yourself.
Well, you posted on IG a PO box for.
Yeah.
I'm going to read that PO box. Oh, you've got the graphic, Jamie?
Yeah. I was trying to segue into that. That's why I said that. I didn't mean to.
No, for our audio only listeners on Alexa, Spotify, and all the different platforms, it's Michael Thompson, P.O. Box 190263, Burton, Michigan 48519.
Yeah, people have been wanting to reach out to me, and so I just rather them reach out to the P.O. Box, and then let me look at it from there.
You have a very active Instagram account too, Michael, mtfree.2021, right?
Right.
And if people want to keep up to date on what's going on with your life, that's one of the ways to do it. You you or your daughter, somebody regularly posts to that, and your posts regularly get 1,000, 2,000 likes. You're extremely popular worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason why I was doing it, because it seemed like people was interested in what I was doing day to day, you know. And so I didn't let them eat. I didn't even let them eat with me, you know. And I did a smoothie the other day, you know, and
NutriBullet.
and man, Mary Belly bought me a machine to make a smoothie, man. And man, I've been playing with that little thing. Hey, man, I've been juicing up. I've been juicing up, and because I know how to do it, and I've been doing some good ones, and so you know, I love that, man. That's like a toy to me, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's keeping me healthy.
I know the guys from the Michigan Cannabis Chefs came over and baked a dinner for you. I know Mike had a chance to, he's smiling, just remember it. I'm watching Mike up there. It
Best
sounded
meal
like
I've
that
had
was
in a
just,
long time. Best company too.
it sounded like it was just a delight. And you know, the simple pleasures that those of us take for granted, like having a choice of what to eat for dinner, or actually enjoying the food that you eat. Something that you were
Well, you
denied
know,
for a
man,
long time.
you know, man, it's coming. You know, just think about this. Here I am, did 25 years in prison. And here I am coming out here, and they send me some chefs to cook for me. And here when they cook some of the best food. You can ask Mike, cook some of the best foods. And all kind of stuff, special desserts, special tastes for food, all this, and little tiny little bits, but it be so good. And it just, you know, I'm coming out to this, man. What do I have to complain about? Nothing. Man, I'm coming from a chef to eating out, you know, the store, and the store got so much sodium in their food, you know what I'm saying? So much sodium in it, high blood pressure would be your destiny, you know, so it's beautiful, man.
Mike McCurdy, can you give some credit to some of the cannabis chefs that were there and participated in that? Because, I mean, if we can name them, that would be great.
Oh gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot. His name's Corey, the owner of the company. But
Corey Roberts, right?
Corey Roberts. Is it Corey Roberts? Oh my gosh, I can tell you that they're. I wish I could remember the name of their company right now, because I've been connecting with Corey a little bit on Facebook, and he's got an amazing story. He also served time for cannabis. I believe he did 4 or 5 years, and it was like purely possession stuff. Just incredible injustice that he endured, and yet now he's out. He's free. He's advocating, just like Michael is, you know, for the release of other cannabis prisoners. I'm actually going to be meeting with him in the next day or two. I think, you know, to discuss. He's offered to help with our coalition work to get prisoners out. So yeah, another amazing individual with an amazing story of you know, really being victimized by the state, and ready to turn that experience around to help others. So, you know, yeah, hopefully maybe you can have him on your show at some point.
Because this coalition is so formidable, there's some national organizations that are looking to come in and really focus some energy and resources on this effort.
Michigan being a state that really has an upward impetus on this particular thing, so we're getting a lot of attention. If Michigan can be the test case, can set the example, set the bar for other states to follow, and have a program that maybe Michael can help engineer that really does make lasting, durable change, other states will imitate it. And what we do here in Michigan could have a ripple effect across the nation. And in fact, the Biden-Harris administration seems willing to listen. And we may have some people that have their ear, including the governor, Governor Whitmer.
Yeah, it could be a pilot for the rest of the states. It could trickle down, you know, and it could be a success here in Michigan. The only thing we got to do is just get on the same page. That's all. Get on the same page and be real.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And never forget the moms, right?
That's right. Don't never forget the moms, man. Because when you schedule that meeting, you'll see. You'll see. I'm gonna have them here in droves.
Yeah, and that's the best thing to do when we get that video evidence out there. You know what we saw again with the cannabis industry is lawmakers who had cold ass stone hearts that would never give any of us the time of day would open their doors to a mom with a sick child, and they would melt their heart. And that's how we got votes, one person at a time. Credit to Robin Snyder and Ida, all the rest of the moms that really worked so hard to bring that message to the legislature and help advance cannabis law reform in Michigan to the place where it is right now. Mike, you look like you're tapping furiously over there.
Oh yeah, I was just you gave me a chance. Corey Roberts, he's he owns Michigan Cannabis Chefs, and they're the ones who were volunteering to do some meals for Michael and special guest. His wife, Lanique Roberts, is his co-owner and chef, and Nigel. The other chef who is helping is Nigel, and I mean, this prepared amazing food. So I think giving them a shout out is really, really great. They've got a business that does everything from growing the marijuana to processing it to providing gourmet food that is infused with cannabis. So, and they're ready to volunteer for people who are doing coalition work to get cannabis prisoners out. So just a great business.
Yep. Once we have an opportunity to gather in groups again, I think we're going to have a hell of a party. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They should be the ones you bring to cook for you. You cook for them one time, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we got Chef Gigi Diaz, Gina Lisa. She's from Detroit. She's also awesome. We have so many wonderful people that make great cannabis infused foods, and also non-cannabis infused foods for people who can't consume. So, wow. And Bob Dodge, thanks again to Bob for all of the support he's done today, as well as all of the continuing support that he has both for the Pot for Shots program as well as for you and your family. So thanks to Bob.
You baked.
Yeah, you baked. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Yeah,
Saying
Bob
nice things about him.
Yeah. Bob's a busy guy. He runs a lot of stuff. I'm not surprised he lets you alone.
Yeah, Bob.
Bob, the chefs, Lynette Roberts is saying to say hi.
Oh, she's on the chat?
She's on the chat, yeah, and appreciates the shout out, yeah.
You have so many people that are loving you. You got some great famous people on the chat, even if they can't be on the screen. Good deal.
Oh, okay, thank you.
A lot of people here in support and appreciate what you're doing.
I love that, man. That's what I like to hear. Because hopefully I don't let them down.
Yep. Well, your GoFundMe page is still up. So if people want to make a contribution to you directly to help your recovery effort or your house fund or anything else, they can still find that. If they go to GoFundMe and search for Michael Thompson, it comes right up. That's a fantastic thing. The Redemption Foundation, if you're interested in sponsoring that, the Redemption Foundation is available too. We have the Freedom Coalition. Mike, what's the status on the Freedom Coalition? Are we able to take donations yet?
MI Freedom Coalition donations are going through the Last Prisoner Project. I don't know if we've got the link up on our website yet, but if not, it'll be up in the next couple of days. And I believe there is a link on the Last Prisoner Project website.
Right. And of course, if you want to follow,
and that's the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition.
And Michael's Instagram feed, mtfree.2021. It's full of a lot of great pictures of you celebrating life, and always accompanied by an uplifting and positive message. Thanks for always doing that.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Jamie?
Well, it's just not much to add to anything, but it's just obvious how genuine you are, and that's why you're going to be effective, and very much so appreciate what you're doing.
That's right. Let's get down. It's showtime. Yep. Showtime. Whenever you call me. As long as you're ready, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a lot of projects too. Colin McDougall and Jim, I'll give you both an opportunity to give some final thoughts for Mr. Thompson.
Thanks, Michael, for being with us. It's an honor and a privilege to listen to you, and your story is so touching to not only my heart, but everyone here and just everyone watching. whatever needs to get done, you can count on us here at Jazz Cabbage Cafe, and beyond that, in our own capacities, we can all break this systematic mess, and make a better world. And I'm glad that I can help change it with you.
Okay, man. I see that I can feel you're real about it, and I can feel that you're on board, and you're ready also, and I think that we all working together, and I think we be on the same page. We get on the same page. I think we can make some changes.
Thank you.
Jim, you're on mute.
Yeah, I just thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to meeting you in person. I'm excited to work with you in whatever capacity. I know we'll see you with the coalition. We'll see you on this show again, I'm sure. We'll see you for Hash Bash. That's coming up.
It gives you a minute to code in.
Hey, tell Bob to come.
Oh, I'm not sure where Bob is. I'll look for him.
No, excuse me. I just one of them mentions Bob's name, and Bob took off. Okay, go ahead, say it again.
Yeah, I'm just saying thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you. I wish you well, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the capacities that you're at right now at the coalition with Hash Bash on this show and in the future.
Okay, I just, I got a good thing for feeling a person, and I can feel the peace within you, and whatever you tell me, I'm gonna believe you. You know what I'm saying? But I just want you to know, whatever I tell you, I hope you believe me, because I don't want to deal with no one that see. It's one thing that one thing I'm really serious about, and I just meant about they want to speak to you.
Okay.
One thing that I want to tell you about me, I can't stand a liar, because I stopped my visits because a guy lied to me, on a visit, and he just kept lying to me, coming on a visit, lying to me, and I just took everybody off my visits, and I didn't receive a visit for 20 years because of a liar. It's just a liar turns me off, and a person that's a phony. Just like I told you, man, I'm an honorable man, and I believe in. I know ain't many people honorable anymore, but I don't care. I'm just telling you what I am, and I want to die with this. I want to die being an honorable man, and so I'm just letting you know, I'm not just talk. I showed mine. For 20 years, I didn't receive no visits, and a lot of people in there thought I was crazy. They sent me to give. They did a referral for me to see a psychiatrist, man, because they wondered what was wrong with me. Why I didn't want nobody to come and see me, and people came way up north to see me. My daughter came way up north to see me, and I refused to go out there on a visit. It's because that's how bitter I was. That's how empty I was when it comes down to people lying to me. So that's the reason I'm just letting you go. I'm just showing you some of the examples. I ain't just talk. I'm real about it. So I feel the peace that's within you. That's all basically what I'm saying.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel it within you and your integrity, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
Mike McCurdy, I know you got a lot that's going on. Did you want some final things that you'd like to leave Michael Thompson with today?
Oh, well, hey, Michael, just let me know when it's time to come over and check out your billiard room. Yeah.
Okay.
Marshall and I are eager to build you a desk or something to fit in that space. That'd be fun.
Yeah, they almost finished. They'll be finished right about Thursday, Friday. And so anytime, just give me a call. Well, Mike, you give me a call because you got a busy schedule, man. You know, you got that hammer and them nails getting down, you know. But by the way, Bob is back now. So if anybody want to speak to him now, here he is.
So
Hello.
we would definitely like to appreciate all your help with this, and to give you baked some much deserved recognition too for getting behind, helping out in so many different ways like this. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
much appreciated.
how can people find your store? How can people find you online? How can they support your business?
ubakeus.com is our website. We're cultivation. We've got a grow and processing license, so we're not completely vertically integrated yet, but we're in probably 120 dispensaries around Michigan. So, yeah, you can buy our products. That helps.
I think we already do.
Good.
So yeah, but again, thanks so much for your continued work with the Pot for Shots program and for other things that you do. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that have been going on that you've been doing in the background. When people have charity in their heart, they tend to do it in everything they do, not just in one single project.
Yeah. I've been asked a lot how it started with Michael, and I basically read the story, and his daughter, Rashonda, her name was in the story, so I reached out to her, and initially it was just, what could we do to help out? There wasn't an intention of hiring him at that point. I did kind of think it'd be a great full circle story. But initially it was just, what can we do to help out? And she came in and said he needed a bed, he needed a phone, and not really even putting my mind around someone being incarcerated for 25 years. What's that like? And then after meeting him, after he was released, the time warp that goes on, you're basically, coming into a new world. And then trying to help him find a doctor, a dentist, his benefits from GM when he was there, helping him get his driver's license. It was, this is a very sincere gentleman, and I knew all the support that's there. Dee Dee can't live here. Dee Dee has to go back home. Mary, who was here, she lives in Maui, so she has to go back home. And the Shaun King, doing the GoFundMe for him, raising that money, which was absolutely amazing, to purchase his home. Well, Michael needs money to live off of, right? He needs to have a future, and discussion internally in our business here with my partners. We felt indebted. We're benefiting from this industry while Michael suffered in prison, and to me it's not fair. So we're very happy to have him on board with us, and we've got a lot of vendor days getting scheduled, and every dispensary I talked to was absolutely stoked about getting Michael in there. And we'll have the press do stories before we get there to let them know where we're going to be and when we're going to be there. The press will show up, and Michael will be able to give his speech that he wants to give in every location. So it's a great opportunity for us. Hopefully it's a great opportunity for Michael. He's a great man. We're going to see Clarissa Fields Friday fight, and he's a good friend now. I really enjoy being around him.
Yeah, Flint native and world champion boxer Clarissa Shields will be boxing at the Dort Federal Event Center. She insisted on having her next bout in Flint. That's how much of a supporter she is. I would love to go, but I know those are some pricey tickets. So
I got tickets if you need them.
I do. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Right. Yeah, I got tickets.
Fantastic. Oh, thanks so much for Bob for setting this all up and for everything else you've done to facilitate, not just today, but for a while now and going forward.
It. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, and God bless.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Yep. See you guys.
Wow, what a fantastic interview. Man. I mean, Jazz Cabbage Cafe Hall of Fame right there.
A lot of love for Rick Thompson in that discussion. And it started off being, I got 15 minutes worth of stuff to say. And we was a solid hour and a half, I think, and it was all great stuff.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Michael Thompson, he's an amazing person. And when he said Rick Thompson, you can interpret that to mean all of y'all, because he just only knows my name. Not that he was trying to single me out for any individual accolades. He meant all of us, just using my name to symbolize that. So, yeah.
Well, he knows who he's willing to connect with genuinely and who he's not. he points that out, and it's obvious. Doesn't take very long to see how very, very genuine that person is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And how long has it been since he was released?
January 6th, I think, something like that. Jamie, does that sound right?
That's something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
day of the insurrection. Actually, I don't think it was that.
No, you're
day.
right. You're right. It was
About
maybe
a month or so ago. I mean,
It's like
Yeah, and that's, I mean, either way, you know, a month or whatever in 25 years.
January 30th and 28th.
that could be it. You're right, Colin. Yep, C murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, and he seems really at peace, you know. And I'm really, it's just amazing. Just
hey,
what
if somebody
you're saying
says
at
that
the
they're that they want to help out and they want to work with them, he says, "Okay, let's do it."
end.
he says, I challenge you. You just made
Yeah.
a promise, and I'm going to hold you to it. And you know what? That's a remarkable individual that does that. Yeah, and that's a lot of life that's happened to him in the last 30 to 45 days. You know, I could totally see where someone who spent 25 years incarcerated might just turtle up, might just go inside their shell and not want to be part of the bigger picture until they slowly acclimate themselves. He's jumped right in both feet first and is knocking heads and taking names.
Yeah.
So good for him. And I'm glad that we had a role here. Jamie, I know we wanted to talk a little bit about the digital hash bash, so I don't know how much more time we've got available, but what a great project that is.
Yeah, we do have a little bit, and I'm sure Jim could chime in. There's gonna be another digital hash bash. The university's not giving out permits again this year. The participation there on site will be more than last year, likely, as things are opening up a little bit and getting a little bit better. But nonetheless, this alternative option will be available, and it's going to be a really polished production, working with some professionals and a lot of just great people involved, and some big names and some very informed people chiming in. So it's going to be a great production and a great thing for people to do if they don't necessarily want to push the limits quite yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be really nice. And it looks like there's a lot of great support coming out of, the dispensaries in Ann Arbor, couple of cultivation shops. We're going to definitely be releasing those names once we get them all kind of set up for the show. It's going to be, I mean, we started out thinking it was going to be 2 hours. We'll probably think it's going to be like 3, maybe 4 again.
And what's going on with proceeds?
Proceeds we've got going to the John Sinclair Foundation. John Sinclair being the reason why there is a hash bash. There's also the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition. Will also be getting money from the proceeds that we gain. And then it's also, paying for that production house, Mark Allen Audio. That's where we'll be doing the filming.
With a little seed money to set up for next year's hash bash as well.
And next year, when there's permits and more people feel comfortable being there, that should be quite tremendous.
Go ahead, Colin.
I was gonna say, what's on your hat, Jim?
Oh, that's the Decrim Nature hat. That's the logo right there, the national logo. We've incorporated that into the new Decriminalize Nature Michigan organization that Colin and I are both a part of. And we have Colin, do you want to talk about our meeting coming up?
But before we jump to that decrim, Jim,
Oh, my bad.
If a corporate entity is watching this program and they wanted to get involved in the digital hash bash at a sponsorship level, how could they contact you or us in order to get more information?
They can contact me at jimsalame@gmail.com. My last name is Salame, jimsalame@gmail.com. And I can give more information about the donation and what it involves. And it's going to be a great event. We've got incredible speakers from people in office to celebrities to researchers and professors, and it's going to be quite a year. So
I think we have a professional sports athlete from the football, baseball, basketball, and hockey.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for all of those different sports, we're going to have a celebrity. So
Quadruple
what an amazing lineup we're going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus musical acts, Jim, right?
Musical acts, yes, yes. Ann Arbor's very own Laith Al-Sadi.
Doing his very famous Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
Such a great inspiration to start off Hash Bash with each year. And I think we'll have some high-ranking elected officials from the state of Michigan contributing too. Is that maybe true?
That is very true. Yeah. And just a lot of surprises coming for sure.
That's fantastic. So you can keep an eye on the websites or the Facebook pages or the Instagram accounts, and you will see updates as they are available.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Colin. Please go ahead and continue your discussion about decriminalized nature Ann Arbor.
Yeah. No, it's not decriminalized nature Ann Arbor anymore. It's decriminalized nature Michigan.
I will update my files.
So update your file, Rick. And everyone else out there who needs to update their files too. But there's a community meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. It's on Zoom, so come check it out. It's a decriminalized nature community meeting, and we're gonna talk about how we are gonna try to decriminalize entheogens and fungi in Michigan going forward, and just connect people with groups that are closer geographically and whatnot. And we're gonna have some bunch of speakers, and yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So want to find out how to get involved, and just come tomorrow. And our website should be going live tonight. So
yeah,
What's that address?
Nature MI. I think it's decrimnaturemi.com.
Yeah.
Or .org maybe. I think both work. But yeah.
And which Facebook page would they be tuning into to catch that broadcast?
It's not a broadcast. It's like a actual meeting.
Broadcasted meeting.
It's not a broadcasted meeting.
Yeah. It'll be a Zoom call, essentially.
It's like a Zoom call.
Yeah. But you can find that on Decrim Nature Ann Arbor. I think it's on posted on Facebook. And
yeah, I think it's a bunch of different pages shared it. So it'll be a good time.
I didn't understand what Jim said because I had already updated my files. So Decrim Nature Ann Arbor
it'll be
good anymore.
All the pages shared. The Michigan, the Psychedelic Society, Decriminalized Nature Detroit, Grand Rapids, they all shared.
Just recently met somebody involved in the Grand Rapids effort. It's cool to see this stuff take off all over the state. John Schlicker says, thank you, Colin McDougall.
Yeah, hopefully, I think John Schlicker will be there tomorrow. And so he's definitely part of our committee now too. So
that makes sense.
And so many wonderful things happening in the state, you know. Don't sit down, people, because there's get involved, get in the game, keep running.
yeah, we need help. Get involved.
Yeah,
it's not just that. Like, you know, that even thinking beyond that, you know, I know that like when we passed marijuana, we were like, okay, that's just the beginning, and like now if we can pass this, that's just one part. There's all these other parts that like Michael talked about today that we still have to, you know, just all these injustices that need to be reformed.
You know, our marching orders are pretty clear. Jamie Lowell, Americans for Safe Access, relaunching Michigan, and you're already doing work in the state, right?
Yeah, we're just going to get kind of up and running officially in the next month or so. We have a really good group of people who are involved, and there's a group of students who are taking on helping us kind of launch and structure and put some things in place for communication and other things as a group project out of the University of Michigan, a bunch of grad students. So that's been pretty cool. Dr. Gus Rosania has recently joined us, and one of the second year pharma students is in his department. So that's coming along pretty well. We may be involved potentially if there's some life left in the Sinclair versus Board of Pharmacy case, would join on in amicus in support of that if it gets granted leave by the Michigan State Supreme Court, which is very much so still up in question.
Well, of course, you have a kind of a stellar lineup of people supporting that Michigan ASA chapter, including Mike Whitty and Brandy Zink, right?
Yeah, Brandy was on recently talking about it. Tiffany Coleman, who's been on the show many times. We have Penny from our East Tawas store, the botanical company, who is a registered nurse, does some consulting still, but was a nurse in the correctional system for many years. Joel Smolinski from one of the hemp organizations, and looks at using medicines and nutrition from hemp, similar to Gus in that respect. Although Gus really wants to do some research now that there should be the ability, wants the university to sign off on him being able to grow some hemp and learn some stuff about it directly. So
hashtag let Gus grow.
Yeah,
right?
He wants to put some pressure on it. Yeah, we talked about that in one of the most recent meetings, and I said that let Gus grow. Yeah, so it is a great group, and cover a lot of ground. Plus, we have the national support there, and they care about cannabis as a plant medicine and are patient focused, and that's what our group does too.
And
I'm sorry, Miriam Halpern, who's a social worker.
Oh yeah,
is also a big part of our group. Yeah,
Miriam's been around for a number of years too. Yeah.
And so, happen to have some insight on shows coming up for us this month. And it's not that typical necessarily, because sometimes these things come together closer to the time when we broadcast than actually being planned out. And we talked about another person who was let out of prison after many years, and I believe in this case 32 years of a 90-year sentence, also for a small amount of cannabis. The Florida State prison system, Richard DeLisi, and he got out in December mainly because of COVID, and hopefully because somebody realized how stupid it was that he was in there. I'm not positive, but I hope that stuff like that made him eligible, a non-violent, minor cannabis offense. And I think he'll be joining us later on this month. Also, Q will be on next week, along with Drew Hall, who did a live appearance with Jim out of Apothecare.
Yeah, great place over there.
Yeah, and then and we're going to do a show later on in the month on Leonard Peltier. There's some people. We had Patrick Flakes on here. Frakes. Said his name incorrectly when I first met him also. So, but anyway, Patrick Frakes, Fruckus, will be on here. I'm sorry, has helped us to hook up with the guy who's very much involved in that case and knows a lot about it and continues to do stuff with it. No.
He's not the only one who gets his name messed up all the time by Jamie.
I'm horrible with it. There's no question about it, and I have to own it at this point. There's just way too much evidence on record.
Mangling.
To attempt to deny it. Never messed up your name though, Jim, obviously.
No, you haven't.
What's the show called again?
Yeah.
So.
No, that's great. Well, on 420 Post this week, we'll be talking about social equity. And then next week, Ann Quinette Jameson will be appearing on 420 Post. So possibly both shows next week for Q.
Getting around, and she's got it. Well, she's doing a really cool thing. So she should be letting a lot of people know about it. Plus, she has a lot of other stuff to say too.
Ann Quinette's not only on the board of directors of Michigan Cannabis Industry Association, the state's largest cannabis trade association. She also does these wonderful high teas, which is a super interesting and a great story, and something I don't think anybody else could really do the way that she does it. So it'll be a great interview. She always is. She's so witty. She's so smart. And those of you that aren't familiar with Q's history, just Google Ann Quinette, or Google Q.
It's a little bit different now, but people up until last few years, I think, quite often would have a show in the morning that they connected with. There's certain casts, there's some of the national shows, and there was a local show, Fox 2 Detroit, and she was the morning anchor for several years. And that's something that people, take into their families in the morning, basically in the living room. And she's connected to a lot of people for a lot of years. And you've seen her reach sometimes when she's needed to say something and get some word out. She gets to a lot of people, and she's been really helpful in this movement, and that's in part the earned credit that she has been contributory to that.
Just like Michael Thompson said today, sometimes you can look at someone and you know that they're real, and you know that they're speaking the truth. And when you listen to Ann Quinnett speak, it's all real. It's all real. As a Michigan Cannabis Business Development Group, we've hosted a dozen different meetings across the state since 2015, although none last year. But one of the most powerful presentations out of all the dozen that we've had, one of the most powerful was when Ann Quinnett stepped up to the podium and she would say, and I used to take this pill 3 times a day for something, and I would take this pill, and I would take this pill, and she would line up a row of prescription bottles across the podium. And then she'd say, and I don't take this one anymore because of cannabis, and I don't take this one anymore because of cannabis. And watching her set them up and then watching her systematically take them away, that's a powerful demonstration.
Well, she talks about the cost of all that stuff. Ridiculous. I mean, I forgot what it is, but it's astronomical. Yeah. And then she talks about how she was urged to use cannabis by her husband Richard, and she used some and got immediate relief, and was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Why can't everybody have this? You know, we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, super major changes regarding cannabis and major sports industries. The baseball, football, de-emphasizing it, National Basketball Association, recognizing that it's not what it used to be. And these are the ways society changes before government changes. But we have to make sure that we shepherd the change in government so that it advantages the people and it doesn't shelter businesses. Because otherwise, we'll just be pharmaceuticalized and no one will have the opportunity to grow at their home, and new states will be adopting laws that don't have home cultivation, which has already been the case. New Jersey, New York's on the precipice of doing that, other places too. So we have work to do.
Right on. Well, I really appreciate it today. That was really intense. Still really thinking about the experience of listening to Michael discuss his intentions and expose what's going on and why he's so motivated to want to try to do something about it. And the way he brings people in as an ally too was quite amazing to watch.
Listen to his ongoing commitment to match the promise that he made to his fellow inmates as he was walking out, as they shouted his name, Miko, don't leave us behind. Miko, don't forget about us. Those, when he talks about the voices, those are the voices he's referring to. The people that are still there. Survivor's guilt, it could be called, but I call it an incredible motivation from an amazing man.
Right on.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're just about winding down.
One more thing.
Besides Collins, last day.
Friday, check out the NPO show. We have a really cool guest, Plant Medicine Coalition, and they were part of Decriminalize Nature DC. So that'll be really cool. And also just check out all the other podcasts, Reeds and Weeds, Medical Mondays, Planet Green Trees, Michigan Canacast, Michigan
Bros Show. Yeah.
Smoking Rope. If I'm forgetting someone
Smoking Rope.
Smoking Rope. How could I forget that? And 420 Post, Rick.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's getting to the point now where we have so many people that we love and we want to recommend. We're just going to have to create a graphic and flash it at the end.
That's coming up, and we'll have one for groups and organizations like Sons and Daughters, Michigan Normal, and ASA, and Cannabis Caucus, and
let's do it.
Then the people who are actually sponsoring us, and we're getting this going, as I keep on talking about. But the Botanical Company and Grow Green, Real Leaf Solutions, Redemption Detroit, Redemption, and the Redemption Foundation. Johnson Clear Legacy Foundation, many more. Detroit Nutrient Company, if I didn't already say that.
We have many friends.
Yeah, and a lot of people besides who I just mentioned also want to contribute to this, and we'll just keep doing it.
And again, if you are interested in supporting the Digital Hash Bash, about 15-20 minutes ago, we gave some information about how to do that. Rewind your tape. We'll check that out. Jim Salim's kind of spearheading the contributions and the sponsorships for that, which is a big job, and thank you for taking that on, Jim. But it's going to be an amazing broadcast this year. I can't wait to participate. It'll be fun.
We'll have a lot of great shows leading up to that. Yeah. So Jazz Cabbage Cafe, thank you guys. See you soon.
Great show today. Thank you guys.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Bye-bye.